Hello agents, another week has passed in the world of The Division and there has definitely been a few goings on. We've had the end of the manhunt with a great cutscene that we all watched, then skipped. We of course also had the second phase of the PTS, which to be honest, I had a lot of fun with. And we can no longer share skill or gear mods with friends, which is fine, the lazy slackers can go farm their own like the rest of us. As for the name of this weekly show, I have had a pretty few solid suggestions. This week in The Division, which I think SkillUp would be having a word with me about. I don't have a name for this, which, personally, that's a favourite of mine too. The Killing Corner? The Skull Shop? Wait, okay, no, these are Oxo's suggestions, makes sense. Oh, hang on, I think you might have something there. Welcome to your weekly Division supply drop, your one-shop stop for all things Division 2. News, events, vendor highlights, we have it all. First, a thank you to my supporters over on Patreon, more on how you can support at the end of the video. Okay, let's get into the news from the previous week. And let's start with one of the biggest stories of the week, Stovepipe. Man, what a conclusion to a season. Don't worry, I will keep this spoiler free for those agents who haven't got around to it yet, but I personally really enjoyed that end mission. But of course, it wasn't without its faults. Many players, after completing the final part of the mission, found themselves stuck in a kind of infinite loop, completing the mission, watching the cutscene, and then just going straight back to the beginning. Manhunts are rarely without their hiccups, and this one had agents concerned that their main characters would be stuck, but thankfully, skipping the cutscene did have a chance of bypassing this bug. But thankfully, this has now been patched. We've also had the long-awaited second phase of the PTS. From what I can tell, this has generally gone down pretty well with those who've played it. I genuinely enjoyed playing around with a lot of the new gear and exotics. The devs seem to be experimenting with weapons and gear that synergize working together. So for example, Shock Punch, the new exotic holster, when you combine it with the exotic AR St. Elmo's engine, gives you additional effects to the talents. Add a shield to the mix, and it gives you even more benefits to those talents. So it's great to see gear and weapons really working together like this. I can't recall the exact talent for the holster, but I do remember when you have the AR and the holster equipped, your melee has a shock effect. If you take a shield out, that shock then has a 5-meter radius, which I think is pretty cool. The new Cavalier gear set is okay, but I don't think it's going to be as game-breaking as the internet started screaming. I did do a full breakdown and test of this gear set, I'll link that in the description below. Descent is still pretty fun, but in my opinion, the rewards that they're giving us still isn't quite worth the time investment. I think you can get more by playing other content for the same amount of time. Where things did take a turn for the PTS is with the Living World Activities revamp. This is the developers trying to rebalance the open world XP to try and move people away from farming resource convoys over and over for XP. The problem here to me is that they've taken away a good farm for XP, and of course replaced it with nothing. Some of these activities like public executions got buffs of up to 25%, but most activities received nerfs, with the biggest one being elite patrols with an 84% reduction in XP. These of course aren't guaranteed numbers, this is a PTS, so things will change, they will shift, values will change. We'll just have to see how things go in the live game. I will have a video out soon digging more into these changes and numbers, but right now, personally, I don't think this is the way to go. So here's one that really grinds my gears. The current backpack apparel mod bug has been moved to the won't fix tab of the known issues board. As you can imagine, people on Twitter weren't too happy about this. However, it has been confirmed this doesn't mean we won't fix it, it just means we can't currently fix it. Or we just don't have the resources, or it's just on hold for now. So a fix will come in the future, but it's sad to hear that it's been sidelined for now. Veterans of the Division franchise will surely know Hamish Bode for being the voice of the Division state of the game. Well, this week Hamish announced on Twitter that this would be his last week working at Ubisoft. He hasn't been working on the Division 2 for quite a while now, but it's still sad to hear he's going. I'm not sure what he's moving on to, but thank you for all the good times and all the best for the future. And to round up the news, the Division 2 will be having a free-to-play weekend from May the 18th to the 21st. Anyone who plays over this free weekend will keep their progression if they decide to pick the game up, which is currently and will be 85% off. This is pretty sweet if you've got any friends interested in picking the game up or just giving it a try. On to events. Last week we got the final manhunt target, Auntie, along with the main man himself, Stovepipe. These two are of course still ready to be hunted down if you haven't had a chance to get round to it yet. And also this week, we have the Auntie League starting up with another patch and backpack trophy to collect. For the Auntie League missions, we've got Jefferson Plaza, the DCD headquarters and Grand Washington Hotel on hard, and the Space Admin HQ on challenging. For the other two objectives, we have True Sun's headshot kills and Disrupt Black Tusk. A pretty nice group of activities, 4 easygoing missions and 2 very doable side objectives. For the True Sun headshots, personally, I'm going to be running a few True Sun control points with either a sniper or just getting close enough that I won't miss. And for Disrupt Black Tusks, I'll be throwing on a Jammer Pulse and chasing down Black Tusks however I feel like it. I might even run the invaded missions because, to be honest, I just haven't done them for a while. Let's take a look at a few vendor highlights for this week. At the DC base of operations, they have a 0F's named chest with perfect unbreakable, and for the attributes, armor, explosive resistance, and crit chance. Reroll explosive resistance to something like crit damage for a pretty nice all-round chest. The clan vendor is selling a 5% crit chance mod, not max rolled, but not a bad pickup, especially if you're just getting into the endgame. At the Countdown vendor, they are selling a Claws Out holster, with its claim to fame being the unique attribute 500% melee damage. It does also come with pistol damage, but that's not why we're using it. This is not an amazing piece of named gear, however it does pair great with the Lady Death exotic. Claws Out is a DZ exclusive, so PvE players, this might be worth picking up for you. And finally, if you're looking for a nice mask for a marksman build, the Castle Settlement is selling an Aroldi mask with weapon damage, weapon handling, and headshot damage. Moving on to the known issues board, we haven't seen a lot of movement this week. However, last week I didn't actually take a look at the won't fix section, so I thought we'd take a better look at this week. Like I said earlier, don't take this section literally. It's more of a can't fix right now than it is a won't fix ever. On here, we do have a few things that we are already aware of, like the Picaro's holster not being able to roll to red, which I still wish it would. There is also the currently bugged Nutcracker merit commendation. We also have the current backpack skin bug, which is sad to see. I'm sure this bug is bothering other players just as much as it's bothering me. And we also do have a bug that is stopping players from sharing skill and gear mods with other players. This one's inconvenient if you like to play in a group, but it's not what I'd call game breaking. Hopefully we will see some of these move to the in progress tab, but for now it looks like we will have to wait. And that's been this week in the Division. Is there anything I've missed for the week? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. As always, a massive thank you to my supporters over on Patreon for helping me make this channel the best it can be. And if you would like to join them, you can support the channel for as little as £1 a month. You'll find a link to the Patreon in the description below, or consider becoming a channel member. Have a great day, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.